Okay. Hi Ms Lee, thank you for taking time off to join us for today's interview. Can you relate to us how you felt when you were in Boston during the time of the bombings?
Sure. So I was in Boston during the time of the bombings. That was because I went to see the Boston Marathon, and my friends recommended that I should be at the finishing line to see how inspirational it is for marathon runners finishing the marathon. And so I did just that. But I went quite early in the morning, and so it was less crowded then. And it was really inspirational, but the crowd started to come in because a nearby baseball game had just finished. So people were flooding in, and I am kind of more afraid of crowds. So I was contemplating whether I should continue to stay or I should go be a good student and go back for my economics lecture. That's what I did. I went back for the lecture, and so I was not at the actual spot where the bombings took place. And I only knew about it after the lecture when people around me had terrified faces, and they were texting me to ask me where I was, and when they saw me, they were actually hugging me. And I was kind of wondering what was going on initially, but when it sank in, that was when fear struck. And fear struck not only because of that, but because there were subsequent bomb alarms, right, at the nearby metros. And so there was lots of uncertainty, and we really felt vulnerable. So what we were told to do was clear the streets and go back to your homes and stay there. And that's what I did.
We do understand that also you experienced the subsequent manhunt and lockdown. How do you feel during the process, and what are your takeaways from it?
To me, I actually experienced the manhunt and the lockdown, so that to me was more terrifying than the actual bombing itself. The manhunt was terrifying because, again, there was a lack of information, and we didn't know what was going to happen. We were just told to stay in our homes and just listen to the news for more information. That was what we did, and at the same time, I had subscribed to my university police messaging system, and so I could actually receive messages and actually track what was happening. And so messages such as, oh, there's a shooting at MIT, one man has been killed, stay clear of the area. And all these subsequent messages just brought more fear to me and my friends around me. And we were also told to stay clear of the windows because there were snipers on the roofs, and any quick movements could actually cause them to shoot. And so for fear of our lives, we were told to stay clear of windows. What happened next was the international students were really afraid, and some even just held on to their passports and just sat in their room waiting. Local students, the Americans, were online listening to the news, and because it was kind of repetitive, the news, and there was not much information, so that brought even more fear to everyone. So everyone was really afraid of what was going on. One of the takeaways I got from this is that what we need to do individually, an individual responsibility, and also what the community can do. As an individual, I have the responsibility to keep myself safe so that my friends don't worry and my family does not worry. And at the same time to reach out to others and to text them and see whether they are okay. And so that was what we did, I and my friends did. At a community level, what I took away from this, especially after the incident, was the way the community gathered together and rallied together to support each other and to show their appreciation for the police force. So for example, there aren't any or many community centers in where I was staying. So what the locals did was that they found areas where people gathered together, such as cafes, and they actually bought cards, thank you cards, and left a few around and just invited people from all walks of life to just write a thank you message to the police. What others did was within their own community, they actually held parties for the police. And the police, in return, reciprocated by holding a parade to thank the residents for their cooperation. So these were some aspects which made me think about how that we need not wait for the government to act, but we on our part can rally together and also help to support each other. One other aspect would be the Boston Strong logo that was set up by two university students, and that helped to rally the whole of Boston together to help remind each other that we need to be strong and resilient in such times. And even today, when I recently saw a man wearing a Boston Strong shirt in Singapore, and it just brought up, when I just saw it, it just brought up feelings again of what happened, and it made me want to reach out to that man and ask him, where did he get the shirt from? Did he share the same experiences that I did? And so such practices to rally people together can be quite effective.
So in your opinion, what do you think Singapore can learn from this episode of terror in Boston?
I think the part that Singapore can learn from this is to, if you know more about who these terrorists were, there were two brothers, and the older brother, actually there was a claim made that although he came as an immigrant in 2002, that he had no American friends at all. And these bombings took place in 2013. So within these 11 years, he stayed in the US, but yet he did not, or was not able to make friends with the locals. And this is perhaps one aspect that we as Singaporeans can reach out to others, to actually those who are immigrants, new immigrants, I mean, even not so new immigrants, that we can help them to integrate into our society. And hopefully in that way, do our part in helping people to stay away from being radicalized by other sources.
That is all for the interview today. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.